Ponoka, followed by Calgary Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Almost 1 full year ago, the community of Blackfalds in my riding got some really good news. Or so they thought. A new K-6 school for the community was announced, but Mr. Speaker, it is now 1 year later, and the only work that has been undertaken at the site has been the completion of a large Building Alberta sign. Mr. Speaker, can the Minister of Education please explain to my constituents when Blackfalds' new school will consist of more than just a couple of signposts and a PC billboard?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And it's a good question, and I can assure you that the first piece of work we do isn't when the hole gets dug, Mr. Speaker. There's a lot of planning going on, and our schedule for that school is still 2016, Mr. Speaker. And we have got all the people working diligently to make that happen. And I expect that the people of Blackfalds are looking forward with much anticipation to that school, Mr. Speaker. It's part of our Building Alberta plan. It's a commitment that this Premier and this government made, and we have every intention of fulfilling that very commitment, Mr. Speaker.
For a supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Minister, there's many communities in Alberta that are waiting for schools. Given that the government lists that the project is underway on their online inventory of school announcements, can the minister please explain why not a single shovel has been in the ground since officials left this site of the announcement? Show me the shovels, Minister.
You know what, Mr. Speaker, as I said in my earlier answer, we intend to have those schools open in 2016. That's still the plan. The shovels will be there in due course, Mr. Speaker. But those people in those communities around Alberta ought to be very glad they chose this Premier and this government with our Building Alberta plan, because the opposition, with their smoke and mirrors plan, would not be providing the infrastructure that Albertans need and depend upon, the ones they asked us to deliver and the ones that this Premier and this government are delivering, Mr. Speaker. That's why we're here, because that side would not be given this, providing the infrastructure that Albertans need.
Honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Minister, the clock is ticking. Will the students of Blackfalds be in their new school before the 2016 election is called, as your government has promised? Yes or no?
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member will be glad to know that he's essentially quoting the Premier. When she asked me to be the infrastructure minister, she said, "Minister, the clock is ticking." She said, we want to get those schools open in 2016. It's your job and your ministry's job to get it done. Those are the instructions and the directions I'm working under, Mr. Speaker. Part of the Building Alberta plan. It's a promise made. We intend to have it a promise kept. Mr. Speaker, we're committed to it.